Good morning, everybody.
Good morning and welcome back to Ben and Sharon Intentional Living, and we are so excited that you have chosen to join us this morning again.
We are.
Yes, for some intentional words of encouragement and add value to your life. That's
Yes.
our goal. That's what we really want to do. Of course, we're constantly growing. All of us, we never arrive anywhere. So this is actually, when we open up these subjects, they speak as much to us
That's right.
as they do some of you.
They do.
And
it makes us dig a little bit and,
Yes, yeah.
say, I never thought about that way.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah.
it's,
So they're
it's a good-
beneficial
that's right.
to us, and thank you for allowing us to speak just a small bit into your life. We try to keep these to about 20 minutes, maybe a commute time or something like that.
We want to enrich your work week.
Amen.
Is what
That's
we want
right.
to do. Starting out on a Monday and you think, oh man, I've got 4 or 5, maybe even 6 days of this to go. And so we
Yeah.
want to just give you a little encouragement along the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got
Well.
hair sticking up. I'm going to fix it right here.
All right. Yeah. Well, that's probably not the only thing's wrong with me. My shirt's probably wrinkled, but I don't know. I go for. You can, after all these years of marriage, she can tell you the first thing I ask is when I get ready to put on something. What can I wear that does not need ironing?
Oh, yeah. He shared that with our church family. They thought that was funny.
Yeah, I don't like to iron. I just kind of like
No.
to shake out the clothes that, what do they call the wrinkle-free or carefree.
Yeah.
Throw
When
'em
you
in the
shop,
dryer.
that's what you shop for.
Throw them in the dryer and pull them out and
Right.
you're ready to wear. So,
Yep.
so.
That
But-
sounds like a Monday morning plan, don't it? Every day for you, but
Yeah. But no, our subject we want to talk about today is around the subject of boundaries, which is, wow, what a topic.
yes,
to get
we actually
into.
mentioned this on our first podcast.
Okay, yeah.
And said that I don't
Yeah.
remember what brought the subject up, but we said we would do this, cover this topic in the not so distant future.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Yeah, because if you're going to add some intention to your life, boundaries is going to be
Ooh.
high up on the your
One of the top 3
right, that you
for
need
sure.
to add to your life.
Yeah.
Because boundaries are there to protect
Mm-hmm.
whatever means something to us. If you plant a garden, you have planted the garden with the intentions of reaping a harvest
Yes.
for food to eat out of there, vegetables. But if you don't fence it in, obviously every rabbit is just going to make a salad bar out of your garden.
Deer.
Deer, whatever, all the critters
Yeah.
can get in there, and it's to protect what you have invested for yourself.
And I want to say this too. Sometimes when you say the word boundaries, it's like, oh, here's another podcast about what I should do, what I shouldn't do, what I
Yeah.
can do, what I can't do. No, but it's kind of like, I'll use this analogy. It's kind of like you can look at a boundary as either a fence or a gate.
Mm-hmm.
A fence
Yeah.
fences something in,
Mm-hmm.
and a gate keeps something out.
Yes. Yeah.
So when we get our mind focused on I've got to do this, or I can't do that, or it is in our human nature to buck against that. It's
Yeah.
in our flesh to automatically start pushing back when we feel like. But the boundaries that we're talking about today are literally they are like, some of them are like fencing us in or hedging us in so that we don't go too far.
Yeah, that's true.
And then some of them are like gates. They keep the enemy at bay.
Yeah, that's right.
And
It's
so-
very important to understand the differences because both are necessary. And
Yes.
one of the first things that comes to mind is people boundaries, that we put up around people. And I would say that you're at different places with different people with different boundaries, in other words.
Right.
'Cause there's some,
And for different reasons.
yes, there's some great and good people in your life, in our life, and your life also, that, but there has to be a healthy boundary set up, or maybe they just keep you so busy that you can't be effective in what the Lord has called you to do, and
And I'm smiling because I'm thinking, how many of you know that there's probably a couple of different people at least that you can think of that you hope you don't run into at Walmart because you because you can't, not because you don't love them, not because you don't, but you know that your cold stuff in your buggy is going to ruin before you get out the door because you can't get away. And then so I don't know if skirting around the corner at Walmart's considered a boundary or not, but sometimes and y'all are laughing because you do the same thing. But we love people and we love everybody, and there may be some folks who are thinking you're the one. They may be looking at us thinking,
right.
we don't want to run into them.
I've been accused of that, but not striking up conversations and being there for a while. But there's good boundaries with people. But what more I think that we need to focus on often is coming out and being separate, and putting a boundary around maybe people that might drag us back into an old lifestyle.
Right,
That's kind of like, you can't go the places you used to go. You can't be around the people that you used to be. That's a good boundary if you've been born again.
You can. But if you do,
true, yes.
You're not only going to go there physically, you're going to go back spiritually.
Yes, right.
So
right.
You can do anything you want to do, but
that's right.
It will eventually
that's right.
bring results, because 1 Corinthians 15:33 says bad company corrupts good manners.
Yeah.
And that's just a warning.
It is, yeah.
Bad company. You may love the person. It may even be family.
That's true.
You may even have family who that when you're around them or with them, you can feel yourself being pulled back to a lifestyle or back to or just away from the Lord or into things maybe that aren't right. Conversations that aren't right or don't please the Lord or whatever. And so people boundaries are and then people who want to gossip and pull you into are trying to feeling like they're pulling close to you by telling you something about somebody or whatever. You have to set boundaries up front and say, I appreciate that, but we're going to take this to the Lord and let Him handle that. I really don't want to get into that kind of conversation. And that's hard to do, but I promise you, if you will handle that on the front end and set that boundary with people that you're not that kind of person, if you set that kind of boundary, and I know it's bad in the workplace a lot of times, that people want to gossip about things going on or whatever. So these are things that most of us know and things like that. But
time is a boundary. I mean, setting time limits on things, because more than anything, I think we all could use a little more boundaries with our time. No is a complete sentence, and that's not to be disrespectful or ugly with anyone. It's just maybe it's just I don't have the time to do that. No, I can't make it. I'm sorry. No, my family's more important to me this particular day or whatever it might be on event. So with activities in our life, we need to set more boundaries. We live in a culture now where a lot of families are being bound down by different activities for their children, that keep them so tied up in their time and busy on the weekends.
That's a big thing. And we prioritize our family time because God has, we're actually in a series at Genesis Church right now on family through the whole month of November about prioritizing family. And one thing that I think people do get mixed up on is prioritizing ball games and dance and all kind of activities and all this stuff, and all of that is great. Our kids played ball. We stayed in the road all the time. But I see a lot of that taking over, where it's taking over lives. Like on Sunday morning, they're gone 2 weekends out of the month playing ball,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
gone from church and pulling the kids. What are we teaching those kids? What are we
Yeah, where
teaching
are-
them? Where are our
It's important,
priorities?
yeah.
And I have, our kids played ball all the years that they did, but we have to set some boundaries
Yeah.
with things like that. And I think about, and there are also like mental boundaries,
Yeah.
things
Oh,
within
yes, right.
ourselves.
Right.
And the word is full of taking those thoughts captive. Because negative things happen in our lives.
Yeah.
Bad things happen
Right.
to good people. Things, we hear of things, and things come to us. And so thoughts
Yeah.
that we have, but if we spend too much time concentrating on the negative and on the problems and on the thing, we begin to feel ourselves being pulled down spiritually, emotional, and then physically, and then we are just, overcome by that. So we have to set boundaries in every area of our life. So there's, personal limits even, if I know you can run, you have no problem running on 4 or 5 hours of sleep. You do that a lot.
Yeah.
You do that a lot.
But I would
Sometimes
say
you're forced to.
But I would say physically it would take a toll on you over time. I would never encourage that lifestyle. It just happens sometimes.
But you've
like you
always slept
said. Yeah.
less
yeah.
hours than me.
Okay.
I feel like I need 8 hours of sleep. I mean, I
Yeah.
can tell if I do not get 8 hours of sleep. That's just something. And so I try to make myself, if I know that I have to get up extra early or whatever, I'm going to make myself lay down and go to. So it's personal,
Yeah.
and you think, well, that's silly. That's not really a boundary, but it is.
Yes, right.
You're setting
Discipline,
boundaries
yeah.
for yourself, and being disciplined in the fact that no, I'm gonna do this and this, so that when that time comes, I'm prepared for this. So there's personal boundaries, emotional boundaries. Don't let yourself get out of control emotionally about things. And there's just, boy, this subject is
It
so
is very, very
deep.
very much. We're just, it's never ending. The boundaries that we have to set. We want you to know boundaries are healthy. So, and we would encourage you to set those boundaries where they're necessary in your life, for sure. So, and most especially, spiritual boundaries. As you were talking about earlier, with people, places, things, what we watch, what we see. How much time do we spend in the Word rather than on TV? Setting boundaries in our phones. Yes, social media, various different things, such as that. And we want these to be. How do I say this without? We definitely want these to be based around the Word of the Lord, because that's where all intentions should be. All of our attention should be centered on what God has said in His Word, and living our lives intentional. And I think that maybe why this came up in the first episode, because when you talk about intentional living, boundaries have to be an intentional part of your life.
They do. And Ben, we even talked about boundaries in ministry,
Of
and in
course.
good things.
Yes.
We've talked a lot about the negative things and stuff like that, but you need to set boundaries. We need to set boundaries even in good things that we do, in ministry that we do. We talked about prioritizing family and stuff, because if any of you who are in ministry of any kind, and it requires study and prayer, and that we cannot let that go and let that lack, because we want to go shopping today, or we want to go and just day after day after day after day, because that piles up, and then before you know it, it's been a week, and then 2 weeks, and then and things get out of hand. But
Oh,
Even
my
in
goodness.
ministry, we've learned that we have to set boundaries.
Just to share a little bit about our growth, we've been in pastoral ministry for 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And our church obviously has grown in 10 years, and it's grown, and we have to grow with it and learn from it. And one of the things we have learned is time management,
Yes.
scheduling, setting those boundaries. Just, for us personally, Monday mornings is kind of off the table to do a whole lot of things with, it's our time to sit and have a cup of coffee and, and align our schedules for the week, because we have different appointments with different people, different meetings and conversations to have with people
Yeah.
in the church. Different things that of ministry have to be that are on time sensitive lines. So we kind of have to align our schedules.
And just this year, we can look back over our schedule, how it was at the beginning of the year and how it is now, because of the growth and because of the things we've had to readjust. And Mondays all day used to be a personal day where we just did personal. And as of recent, we've had to
move that
and
But that's
rearrange
okay.
because
It's okay.
there's so much, and there's been so much added to the plate that we've had to rearrange a few things. But always having boundaries of, we can't, and pastors, I think, I grew up, my dad pastored, and it wasn't like it is today. Pastoring has changed somewhat from the time that I was growing up to it is now, because of culture and different things.
Yeah.
But the time and the effort and the everything, if you're not careful, it can absolutely overtake your whole entire life, to where you're not spending time with your family as you should. You're not making room for all of those things.
Yeah.
So for any of you in your everyday lives, let's think about boundaries. Let's think about those and just ask the Lord, if you're tired and you're worn out and you just don't feel like you can, there's so much and there's not enough hours in the day. And I think we all feel that way from time to time. But more times than not, a lot of times I think if we really take a look at things and we see, okay, I could have managed that better.
Yeah.
I could have not spent so much time on that, or I should have started that earlier, and just make a few minor adjustments just to see if that helps. It will reduce stress, which is, oh my goodness, now, with it takes 2 incomes to run a household, absolutely. There's so much now, things are so expensive, and life in general, so there's just a lot for everything to flow like it needs to be. So if we're out of balance, and our boundaries, a lot of things get in the wrong place.
If we think about boundaries, not as you said earlier, not just fences, but gates. I like that thought, because that puts it in a kind of a filter. It filters out what's most important. So we kind of, when we build our boundaries around the things that are more important, we know when to open that gate, when to close that gate.
Yes, and God set boundaries for a reason. Do you know that from the very beginning, in the Garden of Eden, He said, this is a tree of life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, He put it there. And He looked at Adam and He said, don't eat from this tree. Everything else you can partake of, but don't partake of the fruit of this tree. So God is about boundaries. Mm-hmm. He's about boundaries in our lives. And you see the whole reason why. There's a reason why if God lays something on our heart, and it may be, don't eat cheeseburgers for a month. whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge cheeseburger eater,
Yeah.
but if it's something, if he lays that on your heart, then it's for a
purpose
reason
and
and a
reason.
purpose,
Yeah.
or whatever.
That's true.
So, but he's about
He
boundaries,
certainly is.
but it's
yes,
for
absolutely.
our protection.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's for our protection.
You know, Paul, even the Apostle Paul said, you know, all things are permissible, but all things are not beneficial
Yes.
to me. Meaning, they may, you know, to filter
it may not
out.
be a sin.
Exactly, but it's just not, if it's not adding value to my spirit life, to the spirit man, then
Yes.
why do I do it? It's a good question to ask yourself when you're
Yes.
setting boundaries, is like, is this going to add to my life as a disciple of the Lord, as a
Yes.
follower of Jesus Christ? You know, just so
Yes.
many things. We could go so many
Yes.
ways with this subject of boundaries, but I want you to know that they are okay to set boundaries in your
Yes.
life. And if you're a person that cannot respect a boundary that someone that it is in your life, whether it's
That's a good point.
yeah, I mean, if you
Yes.
can't respect that, then you're really not a good friend of theirs, because it's so
Yes.
important for
Don't take it personal.
yes,
You know,
absolutely,
if
don't take it
somebody
personal. Yeah.
calls and asks me to lunch or something, and it's my study, when I usually set one day a week, that is
Yeah.
my all day study day. I mean, you can study and pray every day and all of that, but the
Do,
one
yes.
that you are honing in and you are preparing a message or messages or whatever it may be. But if somebody calls and you may really want to go, but you have to say no, can we do it next week or can we do it next
Different
week?
day, different
Be the
time.
friend. Be the kind of friend to say absolutely, and I'm going to be praying for you.
Yeah.
Or if
That's-
somebody
yeah.
just says, I just don't feel like going today. Can we go next week? Don't take that personal. You know,
Yeah.
it could be a boundary, and it could just be could be they don't go with you. I don't know.
We'll get into that. Probably
We won't
another
get into
podcast. Yeah.
But no, don't take it personal. And if we've had to do more of that probably in the last several months to a year than we ever have. But we're learning it's for our benefit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for our family's benefit, and it benefits every aspect of our lives.
Oh yes, absolutely. They are. Boundaries are healthy. They
Yes,
are
they
good,
are.
healthy boundaries.
If you let God show you what they are.
That's the key there. You know, because you don't want to just build a boundary around everything in your life just because, like you say,
No.
you don't like a person or don't
Right.
want anything
Right.
to.
Just because you don't want to deal with something.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly. Yes.
Those
yes.
those aren't
Yeah.
boundaries. Those are avoidances.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
done that too, by the way, and that doesn't work for long because eventually you have to
It's
deal
true.
with that.
That's
so.
true, and that's something. Sometimes I guess we have had issues with that in the past because it seems easier to avoid some people, as you
Yes.
said, the Walmart situation, and that's kind of just a small scenario because sometimes if there's deeper issues. We want to avoid those. It's not just
Right.
not just skipping an aisle over
Right.
in the grocery store, but it's more if it's a deeper issue that someone's dealing with, and we
Yes.
know that I can say I've been guilty of that also in times past. It's just like and getting better with that. It's just like kind of like giving up on someone, saying and that's not a boundary. That's a wall I've built, and
Yes, yeah.
and that's not pleasing to the Lord because
Yes.
He wants us to
But boundaries
help
are
all
good.
people. Yes.
If we let the Lord show us what they are, and they're for our protection, for the protection of our family. And so
Yes.
they're very good. I've enjoyed this discussion. We hope y'all have enjoyed
Yes, absolutely.
this discussion
Yeah.
also, and maybe gave you a little food for thought and
Yes.
to think about some things and maybe some boundaries that you need to set in your lives. And we hope you go and have the most awesome work week.
Yes.
And look for us. Go like, share, subscribe. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and I think
I'm working on Apple. I haven't got it uploaded to Apple yet. We've got a little work to do there.
so coming soon to
yeah.
Apple. But go on there, and we hope that this is a blessing to you. If it is, let us know. And we love you.
Yes.
And we are so thankful to be a part of your Mondays and kicking off your work week. God bless you. Until next time, it's Ben and Sharon, Intentional Living.